From muscle training NEET to Prince of Another World? Kofujima. Part 2. Mia the Maid.
Replace a prince? What is this guy talking about?
You aren't bowing your head in the presence of the king. Mind your place.
Now, Hermes, I'm sure this young man is perplexed by the sudden summoning. I'll explain the whole story in just a little bit. For now, let's move to Kazun's room before anyone sees us.
Yes, sire. Understood.
I was pulled out of the bath by the beautiful woman called Hermes, who grabbed me by the arm. Hey, wait!
Ah!
The beautiful magician released my hand.
Why are you naked?
I was in the middle of a bath, so it couldn't be helped, I guess. I jumped into the hot water, hiding the most important parts with my hands. You've got a pretty good body. Well, for now, you can wear this. We'll talk about the rest after. The old man, who had been referred to as the king, offered me his cloak. I snatched it and put it on. We changed locations and ended up in Prince Kazun's room.
And that's how it is. Do you understand?
I was able to get the general idea of the situation from Miss Hermes, who was a court mage. So, this is a different world from the one I was in? And Miss Hermes summoned me here?
Yes.
And the reason for all this is because I look exactly like the prince who ran away from home, and you want to use me as a double.
That's correct.
Hermes, myself, and you are the only ones who know about this. The king, who had been listening in silence the whole time, had opened his mouth. The prince is your son, isn't he?
Hey, you are addressing the king and you're—
Wait, Hermes. It's all right. I'm not troubled by a fellow who speaks his mind, but I fear that the country may be shaken by this disappearance. I listened to the story as I changed into Prince Kazun's clothes.
Then I will call you Prince Kazun from now on. You can call me Hermes, since that's what Prince Kazun calls me.
I will also call you Kazun. You may call me King. Wait a minute. You're moving forward quickly, but don't I have the ability to veto all this?
You don't.
Hermes stated definitively. Seriously? I set my gaze upon the king in desperation. I'm sorry, but you don't have the ability to refuse. The king shook his head regretfully. No way. The king and Hermes left the room. Then Hermes turned around and said,
I forgot to mention that Prince Kazun was a bit of an embarrassment, so please, make sure this doesn't get out.
After saying this, she left. I was left alone in a large room. What do you expect me to do now? It's a different world and I'm a prince all of a sudden? I was a NEET until just a few moments ago. I mean, does the prince have a job? I'm going to ask Miss Hermes. Or rather, it's just Hermes. But just then...
Excuse me, Master Kazun? May I come in, sir?
There was a knock on the door, along with a woman's voice. Come in. A woman bowed and entered. She was wearing something similar to a maid's outfit.
Master Kazun, what would you like to have for dinner today?
Dinner? If it is dinner we're talking about, I had it at home over 2 hours ago. Come to think of it, what time is it? A closer look around revealed that there was no clock in the room. I'm sorry. What time is it?
Huh? Oh, yes, 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
There appeared to be a time difference of about 4 hours between my world and this one.
Master Kazun?
Oh, dinner. Yeah, anything is fine.
Huh? Anything? Understood, sir.
The woman bowed and started to leave the room. Oh, one other thing. What is the prince's job?
Your job? Master Kazun, you don't have to do anything, sir.
The woman replied with a perplexed expression.
I don't mean to be rude, but are you feeling unwell today?
Perhaps you're sick.
I suppose my attitude was unnatural. Then adding one more unnatural thing shouldn't make the situation any worse. Say, I'm gonna ask you another weird question, but don't worry about it. What's your name again?
Mia. You have a strange look on your face.
She's my maid, isn't she? I'll have to ask Hermes about it later. She should have told me the names of the people in the castle at least. Hermes looks solid and competent, but she didn't even give me this kind of basic information. As for dinner, I'm not actually that hungry. At any rate, I'm going to work out until dinner is brought in. There was no clock in the room, so it was hard to be sure, but it was probably about an hour or so later when Mia brought dinner.
Excuse me, here is your dinner. Would you like me to tell you about the dishes?
No, it's fine. By the way, can you bring me a watch later, please? It's inconvenient without one.
A watch? Yes, sir.
Mia lowered her head. Oh, and Mia? You don't have to be so formal. It makes me anxious.
Yes. If that's what Master Kazun orders. If you'll excuse me.
I wonder if it's just my imagination that Mia's face seems to be flushed. Perhaps I'm being overfamiliar. The next day, Hermes' single sentence explained the reason for Mia's reaction the previous night.
Prince Kazun doesn't remember the names of those in the castle.
So it's said. Thank you for listening. Please support us on Patreon.